Guys, I've made a lot of confessions throughout these videos, and I've come to realize I've yet to make one that's so important to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a music snob.
Snob!
And even the worst kind of music snob deserves his piece and opinions to be out there. You see, I'm the type of guy that will love a song so much that I will put it on repeat. Not twice, not 5 times in a day. No. I will let it go on repeat 50 times in around a 2-hour period, stop, give myself a break, and then suddenly go back and listen to it another 100 times, alright? I'm that type of But along the way of being that type of I've also found bands that just speak to me. I found bands to love, to hold, and respect, and just put them on a pedestal of greatness. But of all the bands that I love, that I will stand for, and that I will defend with my life, I've come to realize one thing. They're not as good as you think they are. Bands who have made a large impact in music do deserve the credit, the accolades, the fame, and the fortune. But not everything they is gold. Sometimes it goes platinum. The reality is that these people's music ain't what it used to be or what made them special in the first place. Case in point, are we really anticipating Bob Dylan's 40th album? And will it be as groundbreaking as he was in the 60s? Or did he just dwindle away by his 15th album? It's not to say that culture doesn't change, that the sentiments of music do not progress towards time, but there is something to say that bands hit their peak, and then after that, hit the autopilot button and just dwindle in time, releasing. Some of these artists continue forward, pushing the boundaries and testing new genres and exploring out there. But the reality is, these bands that have made it for so long really do not continue to make good music anymore, or music rather that is the most impactful. Except for Metallica's Lulu, that stain worth of a collab. The worst collaboration since Jimmy Page and P. Diddy. Yes, it exists, and no, I won't subject it to you. Roll the clip.
Damn my enemies, damn my foes, damn these hoes, they're stepping on my toes.
So I'm the music snobs that keeps it real and tells it like it is. And while I'm at it, sip a little bit of wine and enjoy the fire and the flames that explode from my mouth. And you know, to start off, I'll give you a band that I love with a burning passion and tell you how judgmental I am of that band. Since senior year of high school, I discovered an artist that I used to make fun of, but I did not know that his music spoke to my vision of America. The streets on fires in which we walk through, and the highways jammed with broken heroes. Let's get to the first band. Let the record stand. I love Bruce Springsteen. From the 4-hour concerts, the 4th of July aesthetics, the her and grrr voice, all the way down to the senile old man that got a DWI after being a spokesman for Jeep. I love it all. Up until 1979. You see, the Bruce Springsteen everyone knows and loves is definitively 1984's Bruce Springsteen, born in the USA. All the accolades, all the MTV play, and the cultural impact he had, that album was meh. You can catch me singing Born in the USA, 9 Bud Lights In, and even try that dance he did with Monica on that Dancing in the Dark music video, or some like that. Her last name is Cox. Giggity. But musically, his magnum opus came long before the politicians misunderstood his lyrics and used it on the campaign trail. I'm looking at you, Reagan. Bruce was the spotlight of rock and roll. His lyrics were the voice of a generation, combining Dylan's folk poetry with Tom Waits' working class portrait of America. And dear Lord Almighty, did he ever put in the sax solos to end all sax solos. God The E Street Band is a national treasure. All that fame and music came from the smoke-filled bars of New Jersey. Cigarette smoke was the only way to cover up the smell. And where he made his definitive material. Those first 4 albums with a capital K. Don't at me. All jokes aside, Bruce Springsteen's musical creativity reached his apex in the 4th album. It's not to say everything that followed was immediate, but consistently, it got worse over time. Just like The Walking Dead. Look at this boy. This alpha Chad. Slayer 9000. He didn't know it then, but he would never play in a metal band, no matter how many times he plugged in his pointy guitar into that Line 6 Spider 3 amp. On insane mode. I love Metallica. And I'm here to say it. First 4 albums define the subgenre of thrash in the popular lexicon, and each hold weight of importance in the metal world. But as the sands of the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. And enter Sandman. I'm not here to say you can't enjoy the Black Album. I'm not here to say you're wrong for enjoying the new music. Lulu was an inside job. All I'm saying, it should have been Lars. After they hit their fame, they left behind the genre that made them gods amongst men in order to chase a new crowd. In the silken shirts and pleather pants of Ricky Martin, to the frosted tips of Guy Fieri, and the music of Stone Temple Pilots, 90s alt-rock was on a decline ever since the of Kurt Cobain. As the early 2000s approached, the lucrative Limp Bizkit and Korn cash came calling in the form of Saint Anger. People didn't like that. After years of selling us a jar of and calling it Granny's Peach Tea, we, like Lana Rhoades, decided enough was enough. In 2008, Metallica, I guess finally, decided, hey, let's be a thrash band, and journeyed back into the well in hopes of becoming masters of riding the lightning of justice. But like the fat man going back into his closet to put on his old skinny jeans again, it didn't fit. The album comprised of an alright intro, a frumpy middle, and a tight end. Much like a fat man. The album couldn't be pandering more to nostalgia any harder than live-action Disney remakes. Death Magnetic wasn't terrible. It was just there. And we blindly accepted it. And this methodology of going back to the well and hoping to pull out something rinsed and repeat itself into the latest album, Hardwire. It's best to put it like this. When the unstoppable force of fame and the immovable object of fan opinions collide, you just get disappointment. And for the past couple of years, as a fan, I can only look back and say,
Look at what they did to my boy.
I will still love Metallica. History, past, and current. But I'm not going to stand here and tell you every single album is best. But rather, they peaked and they're never coming back. Say what you will about ABBA, but ABBA, alright? A whole bunch of Swedes decided to make disco back in the 70s, became the biggest thing in the world, and then released nothing for almost 20 years. And disappeared into existence. Until some Yahoo decided, guys, I've got a stupid idea. And decided to hold a bunch of kids hostage, give them ABBA's music and say, all right, buddy, get on out there, and re-released it into the world. Long before the musical Mamma Mia, we were subjected to ABBA twice in our generations. No, twice in a lifetime. And every single time, mwah, it came back even better. No complaints. The man is perfect. I love music. I love the artists that I love. I just don't love them unconditionally. God save my firstborn child. I'm a music snob because I expect the best around. And no one's ever gonna bring me down. You can like what you like. You can listen to whatever you want to listen to. But take solace that your disagreements are flawed. YouTube has taken away your ability to dislike me, and